Good evening. In California today, President Ford looked down the barrel of a loaded automatic held by a red-haired woman in a long red dress. But the gun didn't go off, and he's all right. The woman was wrestled to the ground by a Secret Service man, and the president was hustled away. She is being charged with attempted murder of the president. She is 26-year-old Lynette Alice Fromme, nicknamed Squeaky. She's a member of the so-called Manson family, followers of the convicted murderer, Charles Manson. Our White House correspondent, Tom Brokaw, was there when it happened this morning, and here is his report from Sacramento, California.
It was mid-morning in Sacramento when President Ford left a hotel to walk over to the state capitol for a meeting with Governor Edmund Brown, Jr. and a speech to the state legislature. This was a political trip, part of the president's campaign to lock up the Republican nomination. So he was shaking hands as he went along, working the crowd, as politicians say. And it was a friendly crowd. Accompanied by aides and Secret Service agents, the president reached for every hand in sight. Suddenly, a young woman holding a gun appeared at the president's side. A Secret Service agent grabbed the gun and wrestled the young woman to the ground as other agents formed a tight protective shield around the president and moved him swiftly to the Capitol. Mr. Ford had seen the gun. He had a dazed, bewildered look as he was rushed along.
I was about to shake the president's hand. I was watching him approach. My friend was shaking his hand just to my right, and I saw the Secret Servicemen rush the crowd where I was standing. I looked down, and I saw the young lady who I'd seen previously just in the crowd scene. I looked down, I saw her holding a gun. I saw the butt of the handgun, and I don't know if she had gotten it out of her purse yet or not anyway, and at that point I hit the ground, so to speak. I didn't want to be involved.
I believe he must have seen her because he turned white.
President
domestic tranquility,
including a speech to the state legislature on, ironically, crime control. It was written before the assassination attempt and included a reference to Sacramento.
10th Street in Sacramento is as important to the people who walk and work there as peace in the Sinai Desert.
Following the speech, President Ford described his own feelings about the assassination attempt.
Let me say very emphatically that I think the Secret Service and the other law enforcement agencies that were on the job were doing a superb job, and I want to thank them for everything they did in this unfortunate incident. I also wish to express to the people of California my gratitude for the very, very warm welcome that they've given me in the state of California. And I would not under any circumstances feel that one individual in any way represented the attitude on the part of the people of California. I just thank the Californians for being so friendly and so hospitable. And let me add with great emphasis, this incident, under no circumstances, will prevent me or preclude me from contacting the American people as I travel from one state to another and from one community to another. In my judgment, it's vitally important for a president to see the American people. And I'm going to continue to have that personal contact and relationship with the American people. I think it's vital, and I intend to carry it out.
President, can you give us any idea of what you saw or felt personally at the time?
I am not sure that I ought to describe what I saw beyond the fact that I saw a hand coming up behind several others in the front row, and obviously there was a gun in that hand. I then saw almost instantaneously very quick and very effective action by the Secret Service in taking care of the matter.
Your own thoughts, sir?
Well, I was very thankful for the first class. I was very thankful to the Secret Service for doing a superb job. But once I saw that they had done it, I thought I'd better get on with the rest of the day's schedule.
Thank you, General.
Thank you very much. I think that's what I said.
Thank you, sir.
Tonight, President Ford is en route back to Washington, and apparently he will continue his campaign schedule, including a return trip to California in about 2 weeks.
Tom,
John?
you were there when it all happened. What did you do?
Well, I was trailing the president by about 20 yards, and it was an extremely packed crowd as he moved along there, when suddenly I noticed movement of the president's party and then movement off to the left, someone being driven back into the crowd, someone dressed in red. And so as I saw that the president was all right and moving in a very tight protective cordon of Secret Service agents, I turned immediately to what was going off to the left. I knew the Secret Service agent involved, Larry Boondorf, was really one of the crack agents on the White House detail. And I must say I was stunned when I looked down into the face of Squeaky Fromme. I'd worked in California, as you know, for a long time, and had covered the Manson capers and trial and murders, and she was a very familiar figure there. And at first I thought it was probably just another episode of her rather bizarre behavior. It wasn't clear to me then that she had a gun. But I did recognize her almost immediately. Boondorf, the agent, had a very set look on his face, and then it became clear that she indeed had a gun. And some people said that she had fired or had attempted to fire. That was never quite clear. On the ground, she said, "It didn't go off. I'm being still." And then as she stood up, she said, "He's not your public servant." And she was led away.